Definition of the word.
Drop.
Noun.
A small quantity of liquid, just large enough to hold its own round shape through surface tension, especially one that falls from a source of liquid. A dose of liquid medicine in the form of a drop, sense 1. A liquid medicine that is intended to be administered in drops, sense 1.
Example.
Put 3 drops of oil into the mixture. Ear drops, eye drops. A very small quantity of liquid, or of anything. A small amount of an alcoholic beverage. Usually preceded by the alcoholic spirits in general. A single measure of whiskey.
Example.
My aunt asked for just a drop more tea. He was thirsty but there wasn't a drop of water to be found. They didn't show a drop of remorse. He usually enjoys a drop after dinner. She won't touch a drop while she's on duty. It doesn't matter where you're from. Anyone who enjoys the drop is a friend of mine. That which hangs or resembles a liquid globule, such as a hanging diamond earring or ornament, a glass pendant on a chandelier, etc. Often preceded by a defining word, a small, round piece of hard candy, such as a lemon drop, a lozenge. An ornament resembling a pendant, a gutta. A thing which drops or hangs down. The cover mounted on a swivel over a keyhole that rests over the keyhole when not in use to keep out debris, but is swiveled out of the way before inserting the key. A fruit which has fallen off a tree, etc., or has been knocked off accidentally, rather than picked. A dropped pass. A trapdoor, hinged platform, on a gallows itself. An item made available for the player to pick up from the remains of a defeated enemy. A mechanism for lowering something, such as a machine for lowering heavy weights onto a ship's deck, or a device for temporarily lowering a gas jet, etc. Short for drop hammer and drop press. A curtain which falls in front of a theatrical stage. Also, a section of cloth, scenery lowered onto the stage like a curtain.
Example.
Yet another drop for the tiger tight end. An act or instance of dropping, in all senses. An act of moving downwards under the force of gravity, a descent, a fall. An instance of making a delivery of people, supplies, or things, especially by parachute out of an aircraft, an airdrop, but also by truck, etc. A release, of music, a video game, etc. The amount of money that a gambler exchanges for chips in a casino. Preceded by the execution by hanging. Usually preceded by the relegation from one division to a lower one. Short for drop back. Short for drop target. Short for drop kick. An unsolicited credit card issue.
Example.
That was a long drop, but fortunately I didn't break any bones. The delivery driver has to make 3 more drops before lunch. The spy made the drop, leaving the plans under the tree as arranged. The Tiger quarterback took a 1-step drop, expecting his tight end to be open. A decline in degree, quality, quantity, or rate. Of men's clothes. The difference between the chest circumference and waist circumference. Of women's clothes. The difference between the bust circumference and hip circumference.
Example.
The drop in demand for oil resulted in a drop in prices. The distance through which something drops, or falls below a certain level. The distance below a cliff or other high position through which someone or something could fall. Hence, a steep slope. The vertical length of a hanging curtain. The distance of the axis of a shaft below the base of a hanger. The distance that a person drops when being executed by hanging. The depth of a square sail, generally applied to the courses only, the vertical dimension of a sail.
Example.
On one side of the road was a 50-foot drop. Can we find and add a quotation of Ham? Nav. In psych to this entry? A place where items or supplies may be left for others to collect, whether openly, as with a mail drop, or secretly or illegally, as in crime or espionage, a drop-off point.
Example.
I left the plans at the drop, like you asked. Only used and get the drop on and have the drop on, an advantage. A point in a song, usually electronic music such as dubstep, house, trace, or trap, where there is a very noticeable and pleasing change in bass, tempo, and/or overall tone. A climax, a highlight.
Drop. Drop.
Drop. Drop.
Drop. Drop.
Drop.
drop